Boy, it sure seems like we've been here a while. You know why? Because we have.
Yeah,
you know?
It's been months.
Yeah, I'm glad my feeling and reality are all the same this week.
The last rock of the day, and it is a doozy. And oh geez.
Oh, did you see the strength?
You just ripped that thing right off of there. That was quite impressive.
These things are meant to hold like 4,000 pound rocks.
You ripped it right off of there. Hey, what's up everybody? This is Ed at Team Aquascape. We are back in Naperville. Brian and I started this project 2 weeks ago. We got pulled off last week because of a huge snowstorm that came in middle of April. Dumped 7-8 inches of snow on us, turned this place into a muddy mess. Couldn't get rock deliveries, couldn't get our soil pulled out of here, so we made the best of it and did a lot of other stuff. We did sales calls, Aquascape Academy, we caught up on a lot of different little things, but we got to get this project done. Homeowners have been super patient with us. Right now, Brian actually just ran to go grab the other machine. We have our 308 over here. He went to go get the 303, which is the smaller machine. We're getting that 303 because our stone delivery still isn't going to come until tomorrow. We don't want to jumble everything up. If we get stone delivery, it locks this entire thing up. Once this is locked up, we can't get dirt done and we can't do anything else. What we're going to do is we're going to jump on the wetland filter. We decided to split the filter in half. We're going to do 2 smaller wetland filters. The reason we're doing that is we had to increase the filtration capacity because this decorative pond has been turned into a recreational pond. There's a lot of similarities. Thankfully, we did have the original depth. We had 5 feet of depth, so that's going to stay the same. What we're adding though, instead of river rock on the bottom, we're going to do slate work on the bottom so it's nice and smooth. We're going to increase the filtration, so we're going to have a wetland here, then we're going to have another wetland kind of right where the dingo's sitting over there in the middle of the stream. We still have our jets down on the bottom. We're also adding 3 power heads. Those power heads are going to be added into strategic locations to make sure that we have good water flow. We're going to tuck one in this little pocket underneath that rock, get one probably over here, and then we're going to try to get something in that back corner. We've done a lot of work over there on the waterfall, but we still have a choking point. We have lots of soil. We have one little spot to come in, and this is our problem. So hopefully Brian is showing up here soon because I want to get this thing dug soon as possible. All right, Brian is back. Doing tricks. He likes to show off a little bit, moving that pile of stone just so we can get in there and do our excavation. We'll probably also set some rock over in there. It's nice to have a diversity of equipment. So we own this piece. That one we don't, we just rent it. The beauty of that is it gives us ultimate flexibility. There's no way we would have got that big machine underneath that tree. We also have a thumb on this one, which makes moving those boulders really efficient. He's leveling the area out because as you just saw, when he was moving, he kind of flipped the machine a little bit, and that's just because he's not sitting level. So now he's going to go in there and kind of grade that out a little bit to create a better area for him to sit, a little bit more stable, and then we can finish moving those stones. All right, it's a big moment. Brian, what do we got?
Laying out our bog filter, you know, we've kind of been setting the rocks over in here knowing that there's going to be a big wetland filter going in here. There's 2 ways to do it. Really, it's kind of like building a pondless waterfall that's reversed, right? Mm-hmm. The way I've always done it is lay out the aqua blocks. We know it's going to take up a minimum of this much space. What I like to do is mark this out just to kind of give me an idea of where these sit. Plenty of liner to give it whatever shape we want. I think I'd love to see it come out like into here and then definitely dip maybe a little bit over into here. Now that I've got the shape of this laid out, we'll dig this down about 1 foot deep and then level. Then we'll place these blocks again and we'll know exactly where to take those things down the extra 24 inches.
So you can see this is the over dig right now. The aqua blocks are going to sit kind of right in that middle area. So this is going to accommodate the boulders. That'll give us more of that naturalistic shape. Hole is excavated. We have several different layers that you can see here. So I want to try to point these out to you. This deep trench is where the snorkel and centipede will be located. Plumbing line's going to come in from this direction over here because our pump pit is way back on that other side. The main filtration is going to be in this section here. The water's going to rise up. This back area is for boulders to go around the perimeter, and that's just to create a more naturalistic shape. Waterfall is going to be located right in this section here. Water's going to drop back down into our pond on the other side. Brian's just trying to grade everything out over here. We are looking in pretty good shape. Good news, we got our other delivery of stone, so we have some more beautiful stone to work with, but because this was dropped out here, which we had to because we were trying to get the dirt out, one of the neighbors or somebody called the city, and the city is not happy with us. So we have to get the stone out of here very quickly, and it also brought the inspector into the backyard. Let's go see what Brian has to say.
Happy Happy bleep, bleep, bleep. No, not so bad.
Wait, our truck is here, so that's good news. We're moving soil.
This is our third attempt to try to get dirt out of here, and of course last night it still rained, right?
Springtime.
Like, it's just the way it is. This is why we don't normally do projects in April. Nothing went wrong, right, Ed? It's just part of what we do for a living. The rock got here at 6:45, a little early for the neighborhood, right? So beep, 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 kind of pisses off some people. They had to deliver it out in the street, which then caused the inspector to come by. The inspector didn't have much to say, except that we need a silt fence. Like, I don't know what the silt fence does.
I don't either. Like, we have everything. We have retaining walls built. That just goes into a mulch pile over there. It doesn't drain any place.
Who knows? Maybe the inspector had a bad day too, and so that's the only thing that could come out of his mouth.
There you go. He had a bad Easter.
Yeah, Easter egg hunt did not go the way he planned. We're fixing this up, even though it's, you know, still below the original grade. It's a little mucky out here. We've got a homeowner that is 100% at phase 3.
Uh-oh.
You know what I'm talking about?
DEFCON 3.
DEFCON phase 3. So every homeowner, you guys have heard me say this before. You know, in the beginning, they're kind of excited. You know, rocks and stuff, we show up on time and all that kind of stuff. Oh, this is really going to happen. Yay. Phase 2 is like, gosh, there's a lot of rock, and are you sure this is a good idea? And then phase 3 is, I am 100% convinced this is not what we should have done. Oh dear God, more rock. Where is it going? How could you possibly use all that kind of stuff? I did not want a quarry in my backyard, and so.
Oh, and this has gone on for how many months?
Well, we started, you know.
It is a nice looking quarry, though.
It is a nice looking quarry. There's no quarry in the world that looks this good, right? Just a typical Tuesday in the pond world. Right?
Yeah, you got it.
Right?
Oh, but today is the day. Feeling good?
I'll do my smolder. Fabric's in, liner's in. It would have helped to have another hand. Liner was a little big, but we got it. Snorkel, reset, right? It's down a little bit lower. Now we're gonna line this up. So this just slides in like a glove.
Nice. It's all about water distribution, settling, flow rates. We have a 93% reduction in water velocity as the water comes down into the centipede. Allows the big stuff to settle out, then the water flows out through all those aqua blocks. 231 square inches of open space to allow a flow rate of 1 gallon per second of water to come out of the centipede.
For those of you who are new, here's what happens. Water comes in here, stuff gets a chance to settle out, then the water's gonna come up through this, and this whole thing will get cobbles on the side, and then aqua blocks over this, and the whole purpose for the aqua blocks is just for solids and stuff to settle out. Then over the top of the aqua blocks we do some small little cobbles, then some 2 to 3 inch gravel, and then we'll dust it with some really nice stuff over the top.
So we have our snorkel right here, which is our clean out, our aqua blocks and our centipede down on the bottom going right down the middle. It's going to disperse the water out nice and evenly, and on top of that we come in with this bigger river stone. So this is like a 3-inch river rock. That'll help to spread that water out a little bit more, as well as start the entire biological filtration process. I just finished putting down some of this fabric down here on the bottom, so we have some of the heavy duty fabric on the bottom, and then we're going to come over the top of that with some of these screenings. So we just have some of these little limestone chips, and then on top of that we're going to do these big beautiful pieces of slate. We're going to make the bottom of that look almost like a patio, so it'll be nice and smooth on the bottom, so it'll be very easy for walking. A little bit of a project update here. We put down our heavy duty fabric over on top of the liner. We're coming in with some screening, some stone chips. Now we're starting to put in some of the slate on the bottom, just kind of chipping around, making stuff kind of roughly fit around some of these boulders and things like that. So we're just going to kind of work our way across this entire bottom, get a nice smooth slate bottom form, fill the joints in. We might mortar those in. Got a nice little patchwork of stuff. We're going to leave some of those outside edges for little cobblestones. Now we are just finishing up some of the edges. Brian's on the other side, filling in like a little planted pocket with soil.
You can see this rock, and this rock, and it creates this awesome peninsula look out on the pond. The challenge is the liner doesn't ever want to stretch all the way back into here. We still want to encourage plant growth as close to this area as possible. In fact, like on these peninsulas, if there's a place to put a signature type plant, this would be it.
I
kind
agree.
of hanging out over this. Here's the pond liner way back here. You can see it in here. And if I were to just take dirt and throw it in here, obviously all that dirt would just flush out through all the cracks of this stuff. So we basically just took a big piece of fabric, kind of went down, created a pocket, a basket almost, right in here. This is a very large basket. The fabric keeps all the soil from washing in and provides an awesome place for plants to grow. And still gives us that dirt edge that we were looking at.
Yeah, so that big rocky peninsula, it's just pretty sweet. And right where you're at would be the tree or shrub or something. Yeah, that'll look awesome.
This pipe here actually goes down into the bottom of the pond, and then it tees off.
Yep.
And we're gonna just do some jets down there. And then with these jets just kind of swirling water down in the bottom.
Spotless.
It'll be spotless, and it keeps all of that debris that might want to fall suspended, so we can go over into our negative edge. So we're gonna get the current from this waterfall coming into this cove, which will help push it.
Yep.
But another one of our power heads sitting here, really just helping blast all of that stuff out of here. We'll do another one probably by the stairs.
Yeah, kind of tucking that little hole there. Yep.
The other idea of keeping the power heads up a little higher for us, especially in the Midwest, is that in the winter, then they can take those adjustable faces on them, angle them up, and this turns into a big winter de-icer.
Makes sense.
And they really want to leave this waterfall running
Perfect.
all winter, which will be great with the view from the window inside there. I don't think they'll ever have to turn this off. And the idea is really to avoid a clean out. Like the one thing we did with my pond is we really boosted circulation quite a bit. And I haven't cleaned my pond in 11 years.
That's huge. It's a good mix right there. Mortar is gonna go in between all of that stuff. All right, so we're just about done. Stuff is drying up. We finished mixing our mortar, putting it in the joints, and then just to kind of break things up, we're dropping in some different boulders and stuff like that, just to kind of give it that little bit more interesting look. And the reasoning behind it is we have all this very uniform cut joints and everything, and we're going into this naturalistic boulder face. So we want to try to blend the two almost, so have it more of an architectural kind of a statement. We're going to continue embedding some of that rock in there. This is where we have some jets that are going to be occurring. We have another jet over on that side, but just about done. So here's the recipe for a successful wetland. On top of the aqua blocks, we have a layer of the big gravel first. So we have like this big 2.5 to 3.5 inch river rock. Then we come in with 1.5 to 2 inch rock on top of that. So we're trying to do it in a series of grades. This allows sedimentation process and everything to occur very smoothly, and we get more and more surface area as we go up through the progressive layers. 3 distinct layers. You get more and more biological filtration, but you want to do it in layers because you want to keep them all from getting sediments and things like that clogged up in it. So the very bottom with the aqua blocks keeps that entire area open, allows for that nice even water flow to come up through it, and then it'll overflow over here as our waterfall. As soon as we get this gravel in, we're going to come in with a series of big boulders along the side, try to hide up the snorkel, and then you can see our plumbing line that's coming down into the bottom. There's the fire rock. We made this little pocket over in here in between those boulders, putting a little bit of a bed of gravel in there. Those are going to be a nice backdrop, and then we'll continue off of this with our retaining wall on the back side. This little detail type stuff makes all the difference in the world. We don't want to just focus on inside the pond. Tying all that stuff together to have nice continuity is key. Check out that fire rock. It looks awesome. And that big old giant slab as well. So that thing is going to get rested right along this edge, and we will call it a day. That's our face. Can't really tell because of the weird lighting right now, but what I will do is, quick little trick is we set the rock back down, and then you rotate this, put a little twist into it, 180 degrees, and now when it lifts, it'll spin the rock for us. So we want the other side facing out. So, there it is. Perfect. We are back at our project, our recreation pond. We've been pulled off because of rain. Check out all of that water. This was drained, what, on Friday? Last week. There was no water in here. It is about 3 feet of water right now, which is just unbelievable. Thankfully, Brian pitched everything away, so everything kind of drained off actually really well. I'm impressed.
One of the big things we've got to do next, we've got this pond over in here that's going to overflow, make a hard bend, and then go into that. Our challenge is we can't do any of that until we button up all of that stuff. You're gonna go grab some gravel. We're gonna come up in here, finish this waterfall. And when I say finish, like foam it, lights, edges, everything. Get the spillways in. If we can finish all of that, then we can kind of start backing out of here.
Water's pumping down. We gotta get those rocks out. And we still gotta get a trench.
That's baby steps, Ed.
we have no pumps in.
Yeah. At some point, we got to figure out plumbing.
We got more rain last night. It's just unbelievable. Drizzled on us a little bit yesterday when Brian and I were out here. We were hoping to have a really good day today, and it poured. Check out all the muck, all the slop. What do you think there, Chris?
What do you mean slop?
Slop. No, not you.
Oh.
That. The slick, nasty, clumpy stuff that we've been fighting with since like day one. But good attitudes will prevail. We will make it happen today. So this is our biggest rock of the project. It's a little over 2 tons. We got the Cat 308. We got the right equipment out here, which is key. Oh, hold it, hold it. Yep, saw that slipping. It's got a weird corner over here where it wants to slip, and these straps are wet and muddy. So what I'm looking at is this little spot right here. It's gonna want to slide off. So now what I'm gonna do is just kind of put a couple rocks under, hold that up. Now let's try to get that a little deeper. Okay, bring her down. Now I'm just gonna slide that a little bit deeper under there. I think we're good. Oh yeah, there we go. Beautiful. We got our super sacks over here. We're gonna pull these off. This is our wetland gravel, large river rock. We have some sand in here to level stuff out. The nice thing about this makes it very, very efficient from an installation standpoint. Instead of running back and forth with small bucket loads, we come in with a cubic yard at a time. Makes it really, really nice and easy. All right, Brian and I just pulled in a 30 by 30 liner by ourselves, and we don't have much overlap. We have just enough all the way around the perimeter. We have our little overlap down there for the basin. This is gonna be a midstream wetland filter, and then we still have to do a seam connection right over in here.
Oh my God. I don't know if you guys can see this, but the sun is actually out on our Naperville job. It's just the two of us, and feels good. We had a little moment of victory here, but we are actually getting really close to seeing this thing finished. Maybe 2-3 more days, depending on what kind of help gets us. So let's go on 3 because we don't have any help. Right? It's just the 2. We're at a critical part. We're at our wetland filter. And so I wanted to kind of show you where we're at with the second of 2 wetland filters on this project. Think about this when you guys are doing designs. If you don't have the space, we've even put wetland filters in the bottom of ponds. You have a 2-foot deep pond, you'll dig a 5-foot deep hole and have a wetland filter in the bottom. Here we have it in the bottom of what's going to be a 10-inch deep part of our stream. So just a cool part of the design. It's really coming together. Can't wait to see this whole thing just finished.
Success! We finally got it running. Started last November, and it is now the middle of May, but we have a beautiful water feature, and we have a happy customer, and it looks phenomenal. We have the main waterfall going. We have our power heads operating. I'm gonna just look at that stuff, just churning up everything. We have another power head over on this side, pushing water out. Power head located underneath the waterfall. We have jets down on the bottom. Another filter over in here, going down into our 3,000 gallon reservoir. Pumps located back over in here. We have our wetland filter, creating a nice little serene pooling area. Then we have this beautiful little bridge. The bridge is going to take you across a couple steps down to a little sunken seating area over here. Then we have a nice fire rock, which is going to create a beautiful little space to kick back and relax. Then we have the sound of that waterfall, which is just incredible. You can see some of our edging. What I love about this pond, lots of irregular little nooks and crannies and everything. We have a mixture of large sandstone boulders going all the way down to some of these granite cobblestones, creating that irregular shoreline. Check that out. Looks incredible. Oh yeah. Spillways, one here, one located over on the other side with a 12 PN pump that's pushing out a really nice flow of water, about 10,000 gallons of water per hour. We have a little tributary stream coming in from this section over here just to create a little bit of extra movement over in this back corner. We have a staircase going down from over here. You can go off of the patio, walk your way right down, kind of a zigzag natural stone walkway going all the way down to the bottom. The bottom of the pond is a beautiful flagstone patio, literally on the bottom. Can't see it right now, unfortunately, because when we turned everything on, it kind of stirred everything up, but give it a couple days and this will be spotless. It's been a long project. Those projects that you struggle with really are the ones that are memorable for a lot of reasons, but that's what helps you grow. It was a successful project. I want to thank you for tuning in. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let us know your thoughts so we can continue to provide you with really cool projects just like this throughout the world. All right, have a great day, and we will see you soon.